Hello, welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, İlham Məmmədov. The European Championship trophy has been brought to Baku as part of the Euro 2020 Cup Tour, which will be held from June 11th to July 11th this year.
Also named the Yaradılan Trophy in honor of the first General Secretary of UEFA, who proposed the idea for a pan-European football tournament, the trophy will be awarded to the winning team in the final match of the European Championship. After Baku, the trophy will be taken to the Danish capital, Copenhagen. Euro 2020 will be spread in various countries across Europe as UEFA celebrates the 60th anniversary of the tournament. Baku Olympic Stadium will host 3 matches of Group A and a quarter-final match.
On May 7th, President İlham Aliyev signed an executive order on declaration of Shusha as the cultural capital of Azerbaijan. According to the executive order, Shusha city was declared the cultural capital of Azerbaijan in order to restore its historical appearance, return its former glory, regain its traditional rich cultural life, as well as to promote it in the international arena as the pearl of Azerbaijan's multi-century-long rich culture, architecture and urban planning. The Yaradılan Trophy, the main prize of the European Football Championship, kicking off in the Italian capital on 11th of June, has traveled to Europe, and its second stop after Budapest is Baku. The trophy has already traveled to Gobustan State Historical Artistic Reserve, İçerişehir State Historical Architectural Reserve, Ateşkar Temple, Heydar Aliyev Center, and Baku Olympic Stadium. The main purpose of the tour is to acquaint the public with the cup and spread the excitement of Euro 2020 on the streets of Baku. Skilzy, the UEFA Euro 2020 official mascot, and other characters will accompany the cup. After Baku, the cup tour will continue in Copenhagen, Denmark. On the instruction of President İlham Aliyev, the Bülbül Music Festival will be held in the city of Shusha, the country's cultural capital. After 32 years, the festival will be organized by the Heydar Aliyev Foundation. The Bülbül Music Festival, named after a flower that is a symbol of Shusha city, was first organized in May 1989 on Judur Plain. Currently, preparation for the festival is in the final stages. The musical creativity of different peoples living in Azerbaijan will be presented as part of the theme Multiculturalism in Azerbaijani Music. A program of folk songs and classical music will feature within the festival organized on Judur Plain. These days, when the former Soviet republics are preparing for the next 76th anniversary of the victory over fascism, one of them welcomes and promotes fascism. This is Armenia, which has turned terror and vandalism into state policy.
Even in the First Karabakh War, which committed acts of vandalism and barbarism, the Armenians demonstrated an example of turning terror into state policy. The 6-meter monument to the fascist supporter BİRİNCİlik, erected in 2016 in the center of Yerevan, has become another manifestation of the political ideology of Armenia. Azerbaijani President İlham Aliyev, speaking in 2019 in Ashgabat at the meeting of the Council of CIS Heads of State, said that there is no place for the glorification of fascism in the CIS space. This trend poses a threat to regional and international security.
We, the heads of state, have repeatedly opposed the glorification of Nazis. Unfortunately, this is happening in the CIS, and particularly in Armenia, where the former government has erected in the center of Yerevan a monument to the fascist executioner and traitor Garagin Terharutyunyan, who served with the German fascists under the nickname of Garagin. We, the heads of state, have repeatedly opposed the glorification of the fascists. I believe that the glorification of fascism has no place in the CIS.
Armenia, with fascist traditions in the same context, showed itself with its atrocities in the First Karabakh War. In the Second Karabakh War, the Azerbaijani army took revenge on the battlefield for genocide against civilians, atrocities inconceivable to the human mind, and vandalism committed against historical and religious monuments and nature. And this meant not only the restoration of the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, but also the destruction of fascism.
Being in these liberated regions, seeing the atrocities committed by the Armenians, I'm once again convinced that we have done a great job not only for ourselves, but also for our region. We crushed the head of Armenian fascism.
The essence of the Armenians, so to speak, is associated with their genetic code. This is the biological explanation for the glorification of fascism. The political meaning is that the traditions of fascism coincide with the political concept of official Yerevan. As in other post-Soviet countries, Armenia's behavior is not welcomed in Russia either. A public organization of veterans of war, labor, the armed forces and law enforcement agencies of the city of Dolgoprudno of Moscow region appeal to the federal authorities of Russia to dismantle the monument to fascist BİRİNCİlik in Karabakh. Emphasizing that the victory over fascism is of a great importance as an event that united all the peoples of the former USSR, the organization of veterans stated that the presence of such a monument on the territory controlled by the Russian peacekeepers is a disrespect for one of the few values that unite people in the Eurasian space. And Armenia's lack of response to such calls is not principled position based on egoism, but an expression of sympathy for fascist traditions.
The release of Armenian war prisoners by Azerbaijan is assessed as a positive step on the official Twitter pages of the French and Canadian Ministries of Foreign Affairs. And a call was made for the release of other Armenian prisoners as well, said the head of the press service department of Azerbaijani Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Leyla Abdullayeva, while commenting on the call by French and Canadian Ministries of Foreign Affairs regarding the release of the Armenian war prisoners. Leyla Abdullayeva reminded that it's not the first humanist step taken by Azerbaijan. Even when military operations continued, our country handed over Armenian prisoners of war to the other side. After military operations ended, more than 70 Armenian prisoners of war were returned to the other side. In return, Armenia deployed its servicemen to the territories of Azerbaijan almost 20 days after the cessation of operations, inflicting a blow to a fragile peace which was hard to achieve. As a result of terrorist acts committed by the servicemen, 4 Azerbaijani servicemen died. 1 civilian was injured. Quote, "We bring to the attention of the foreign ministers of both countries that the Armenian side still does not fulfill the obligations of the international humanitarian law, as well as the obligations assumed by the trilateral statements. If the ministries of foreign affairs of France and Canada want to demonstrate not a one-sided but an objective approach to the issue, then they should call on Armenia to comply with the obligations of international humanitarian law and not to take actions that impede sustainable peace in the region. Otherwise, it can deal a serious blow to the credibility of both countries in the Azerbaijani society." End of quote. 722 more cases of coronavirus infection have been recorded in Azerbaijan. 1,854 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 15 people died after testing positive for COVID-19. The confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 325,407 with 302,860 recoveries and 4,650 deaths. The number of active infections is 17,897. To detect new infection cases, overall 3,311,267 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan. The task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.